أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to another session. In this session, we will be concluding the second booklet, and then, which means in our next session, we'll be moving on to the next booklet, which will be page 18. Alhamdulillah, in our last two sessions, we did quite a bit. We introduced, alhamdulillah, the rule of idgham. The rule of idgham bi ghunna, the four letters read with ghunna, and idgham bi ghayri ghunna, the ra and the lam, which is read without ghunna. And for today, in this session, we'll be looking at the rule of qalqalah. And this will be the first time we will be actually reviewing all five letters. As I mentioned before, to remember the letters of Qalqalah, besides the fact that we introduced them quite gradually, we did the ba and the jim, and then we did the dal, and then we did the ta, and then we did the qaf. There's a word that we can make, not an actual word, but just, something that should be helpful to remember. If you remember kutubu jadin, kutubu jadin. Okay, if you remember kutubu jadin, that will help us remember the letters of qalqalah. And to remind ourselves, what are the letters of qalqalah? It is when one of these five letters are found with sukoon, we have to echo the letter. Okay. Just before we get to that practice of the letters of Qalqalah, we have another little rule of reading here, and something also we've touched on before. Just a few more examples is basically when we have a letter with sukoon that precedes the letter with mushadda. What happens in this case? The letter with sukoon completely falls away. These are obviously some really obscure examples, but it's just to drive the point home that any letter with sukoon found before a letter with mushadda, we will completely ignore that letter. It's kind of similar to what we did year before, although with the rules of idgham that we looked at, it's the noon sakin that falls away. Here we're saying any letter with sukoon that comes before a letter, any letter with mushadda, that letter of sukoon falls away. Why? Because we have to join. The mushadda tells us to join the letter before it to it. So we cannot join a letter with sukoon to a letter with mushadda. Therefore, the letter before it that has a sound has to be joined to the letter with mushadda. And that's the essence of the rule that we are going to be looking at first for now. So you can see here it says a letter found with sukoon, if followed by mushadda, that letter will be dropped. So we're dropping the sin here. We're going to drop that sukoon, this jim here, we're going to drop the jim with the sukoon because of the dal with mushadda. We're going to drop the ha here, okay, because of the sad with mushadda. So the rule is quite straightforward. We don't recite, we don't pronounce, we don't read the letter with sukoon if there's a letter after it that has mushadda. So let's look at these examples. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We have turra. So here we're saying this is equal to this. This is how we need to read this. We're not going to say tusra. No. We're going to say, because the mushadda tells us we have to join to it, and we have to recite the sound that comes with it. Also, we mentioned that the letter of mushadda actually tells us there are two of that letters. If there's a mushadda on the sarah, it means there's actually two ras, and that's why we emphasizing it. Okay, so it's going to be turra, turra. Okay, kaddi, kaddi. Just ignore the jim. Bussa, bussa. Okay, ignore the ha there. Muthi, muthi. Okay, here we're ignoring the kha. Muthi. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabihat tija. Now this one is from Quran actually. Yeah, what's happening? There's a ta here with sukoon, but we're skipping over that ta to go from this ha straight to that ta because it's mushadda. Rabihat tija. Okay. Here we have a dal sukoon, and we're going to jump over this dal because that dal has a mushadda over there. وَقَدْ دَخَلُوا وَقَدْ دَخَلُوا. All right. Yeah, we have yudarik, qalqala on the dal here. That dal, even though as a sukoon, we're going to skip over it, so there's no qalqala here, we're going to join straight there. This dal we can recite, all right, because the mushadda is only there. So we're going to join the sarah to that kaf over here with mushadda. So we're going to qalqala this dal, yudarikum, okay? This is an interesting one. Wow. ونصروا ونصروا. Yeah, we have u with waw and sukoon, so that's a ru, but there's a little mud there, so we're going to elongate the ru to about 3 or 4 times, not more than 4. ونصروا نصروا. All right, so that's some practice and just, some, I think, like I said, we have seen this before, so that's just some practice of that. So now we can move on to our rule of qalqala. All right. So qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. Here we have أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فلق فلق. All right. خلق خلق. وقب وقب. What's this one? حسد حسد. أحد أحد. All right. الصمد الصمد. دال وسكون. ميم مسد مسد مسد. وقد وقد وقد. Okay, so we did qaf in that line and we did dal, a couple of qafs and ba as well, and the dal with sukoon. Here we have ba again, kasab kasab, and in all of these examples the letter of qalqal is at the end. But in this example, there's a dal there in the middle. So fadakhuli, fadakhuli. This is from the ayah fadakhuli fi ibadi wadakhuli jannati. All right. So that's from also in the back of the Quran. Fadakhuli. Here we have hatab. Any guesses what surah this is from? Hatab. Hatab. Tab. Hatab. فوسط سط فوسطن به. Also from the back of the Quran, this one of the surahs, shorter surahs in the back of the Quran. فوسط سط 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 فوسطن به. Right? So this is flat, not a sad, it's a sa, right? فوسطن به. Next one, la shahid. There's a dal at the end. All right, so here we had an example, the ta in the middle. Here's dal at the end, qalqala at the end. La shahid. La shahid. Again at the end here. La kanud. La kanud. Here's the jim in the middle. Majalis. 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 Okay. And then we have our last line of examples. Here we have the qaf and then the ta. Check those 4 dots all next to each other, but 2 of them are for the qaf and 2 of them for the ta. So the qaf has a sukoon, so waqqa. We're going to ignore this alif here. Waqtarib. Waqtarib. Now sometimes, I mean, you might wonder, why is this alif here? Why did it just take it away? Sometimes it is there for a reason, because it forms parts of the original word. Okay, we're not going to go into that now. We just want to make sure that we are able to pronounce correctly and identify what needs to happen when we find ourselves in these situations. So here we're going to jump over the alif, go straight to the sukoon. Waqqa, qalqala on the qaf. Waqtarib, qalqala on the ba also. Waqtarib. Radadnahu, radadnahu, radad, qalqala on the dal. Here's the qaf again here. فلا تقهر فلا تقهر فلا تقهر. Right? Dal at the end. ولد ولد. Okay. نفس مطمئنة. يا مئنة مئنة نفس المطمئنة. نفس المطمئنة. Noon with mushadda, غنة and slight nasal sound. All right. نفس المطمئنة. با لهب لهب. and then أطلس قلقلة on the طاء أطلس. All right. Alhamdulillah, that is our review of the letter Qalqalah. So thus far, the Tajweed rules we covered, first of which was the rule of Qalqalah. The first time we introduced anything of Tajweed was Qalqalah, when we did the Ba and the Jim. All right. Sin, Ta, Ra, Ba, Mim, Fa, Jim, Tha, Dal. That was the order in which we learned the letters. So the Ba came, and then the Jim came, and we introduced Qalqalah immediately. Thereafter, the next Tajweed rules we introduced after that were the Mim with Mushadda and the Noon with Mushadda, that has to be read with Ghunna. And then in our two previous lessons, we introduced, yes, there were some miscellaneous rules here and there, but in our two previous lessons, we looked at idgham, which is triggered by the noon sakin and tanween. So we are always on the lookout for noon sakin and tanween, because that's also going to come up in our next two Tajweed rules that we're going to be looking at. All right, so we've looked at idgham. Idgham was 6 letters. Yarmaluna are the letters that we of idgham. Ya, Mim, Noon, Waw are the 4 that's read with ghunna, and Ra and Lam are the 2 that are read without ghunna. Okay, idgham bi ghunna and idgham bi ghayri ghunna. So that's just a quick recap of our 2 previous sessions, which we looked at over here. Okay, please go back and check those lessons, practice them as much as possible. We are nearing the end now. I think there are only 3 pages left, 3 pages, inshallah, and then we will try to do some practice reading from the Quran directly, inshallah, once we've completed the booklet, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide and protect us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in our love for His beloved sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.